everyone, and welcome to my podcast, Hellman Talks. Today, I'm joined by Melanie Nasr. Melanie, she's French, Lebanese, and originally from Senegal. She's lived in Rome, Madrid, and Brussels. She started in hospitality, and she's now a life coach and a numerologist. So I'm very excited to dive into Melanie's story and learn more about the wellness and coaching world, which I know is very big. So with that, Melanie, welcome.
Hi, Claudia. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And for those who are maybe watching us, we're actually matching, which I think is such a coincidence. We were thinking the same today. Melanie, because I know that you have such an international background, where do you usually say that you're from?
Everywhere, nowhere. You know, this citizen of the world that you don't know where you're from.
And because did you grow up more in Senegal? Did you grow up in Rome? Like, where did you
No,
grow
in
up?
Senegal. I used to live 18 years in Senegal. So I was born and raised in Senegal. And then when I turned 18, I went to Belgium to study. I stayed there for 6 years, then Rome for 3 years, and then Madrid. Yeah.
Nice. So because I can imagine that Senegal against maybe versus Europe is a little bit different. How was that?
A huge change. Like Senegal is the eternal summer. I used to go to school, you know, with the open shoes and with my swimsuit under my clothes, because then we used to go to the beach, and then you arrive to Belgium and it's like completely different weather, mentality, everything. So it was a huge change for me. That's why I always dreamed of living in Spain. For me, Spain was like the European life, but closer to my roots, my mentality, you know, more open-minded. But the weather reminds me of my homeland.
I mean, I have to say the weather in Spain is very nice.
It's very
Like I
nice.
live in London, and
Yeah.
the weather there is a bit shaky,
Yeah.
so it's very nice. And because you had mentioned be connected to your roots, I feel like, and you said also about being open-minded. I know that actually your brand, I think you call it Life Your Way.
Yeah.
Where does this kind of come from?
I used to work as a sales manager in luxury hospitality, so nothing to see. And I used to live in autopilot mode. Like it was not a life my way. It was the life like I was supposed to live. You know, it was the great job, a great position, permanent contract, everything, you know, on paper, it was everything perfect, but I wasn't happy. It wasn't a life my way. I didn't listen to me. I felt sick, like really. I had huge health problem with my neck, my back, and I didn't listen to my body. I was the last thing, you know, on my priority list. It was me.
Yeah.
Even I wasn't even in my priority list, you know. So it wasn't a life my way. And when I discovered coaching during COVID, yeah, for the first time in my life, it was who am I without any job position? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Who is
as a
Mel?
person.
You know, as a person. It was huge for me to rediscover myself without any job position, without any tag, you know? And I started a life my way, because life your way is like, who are you? What do you want? What are your needs? You know, to understand you better, so to live a life according to who you are. So that's why I created that, and now that's my mission, my purpose. Every day I wake up to help people reconnect with themselves, because for me, it's like connect first within and then create outside. But you have to connect with yourself first. Yeah.
I think a lot of people can probably relate to maybe like they're having like a corporate job, and maybe they're just like hustling through, but they're just doing it maybe because it's what they're told to do, or because that's what they think that they have to do. But sometimes, as you say, they're not prioritizing themselves, and it's very important. And sometimes things have to happen so that you make that realization. But it's good if you sometimes can make that kind of self work yourself and be like, who do I want to be as a person? How do you think that you transitioned from kind of the hospitality world to the coaching world, because they're quite different, and also trying to at the same time find yourself? How was that?
I think it was the best thing that happened to me and the hardest thing, because when I left the corporate world, I remember it was like a bit of running away from that. I hated that word, you know, and I wanted to run away and create a life my way. I remember that mindset, like, I don't want to have nothing to, you know, nothing to do now with companies, anything. It's like my way. I put the rules, etc. But at the end, you can't run away from something, because everything that the how they say, the patterns, let's say, that I had in that corporate world, like hardship, very hard on myself, not prioritizing me. Even when you start a new way, of living, you still have those things inside. So my husband used to say, you're the worst boss to yourself. Like, you're the worst boss for you. Like, look at you. And I was very hard on myself. So this part remained until I kept, working on myself and understanding, yeah, no, you can't run away from anything. Like, it's going to pursue you for the rest of your life. As I was saying, I was very hard on myself and guilting me, putting
putting
the
guilt on
guilt,
yourself,
on
or like you should
myself
do more.
for, all the time. It's like, no, just rest today. But then if the result weren't coming, like the result I wanted, no, see, you're not good enough. You're not, and that's not good. And it's on you. So you have to keep working on yourself, not on, the, let's say, the corporate or the freelance life. It's the same. It's you, the center of everything. I don't know if I explained it.
Love actually what you said, because I think it's so good, and I think that so many people can relate. I definitely can relate myself, and I really like actually what your husband told you, that you're not being maybe the best boss to yourself, and I had never seen it like that, and it's actually really interesting, because like maybe we should be leading by example in our own way. Kind of, we should be saying how we want to live the life and maybe be kinder to us. And so I think it's very interesting what you had mentioned. I mean, excited to learn more about your coaching world. But if there's people that maybe are not so familiar with the coaching world, how would you define coaching?
For me, I won't do a definition that you can all watch on Google, but for me, coaching is a wonderful, amazing tool of self-awareness. Like, it helps you understand who you are, how you work, and then go towards your goal. It's like from the present moment till the future, right? It's like not talking about your past all time, all day, and I'm like this because my past. No, it's important to understand your path, but to put it on the, how to say, on service, on the service of who am I now and what I want to go, and coaching for me, it's like the path of going through your life with consciousness. It's consciousness on you, on your fears, on your blockage, on your what you want, everything. Like, you work on you everything. Or, I mean, overall, with consciousness, it's getting to know you better. That's it. But through introspection and action.
And I like actually what you mentioned, because it's true maybe that our past maybe made us like how we are today, but it's important, how do we move forward? Like, let's think about the future.
Exactly.
How can I build a better future for myself, or whatever it is?
And it's important not to reject the past and to understand how the past shaped us, let's say. And then, okay, this shaped me like that. I embrace it, I accept it, and now who I want to be. How can I use that past for in the present to go toward my future, to walk toward the future.
I think that's very good. Do you have like an example of someone that you maybe helped, that you think that they had like a very positive outcome through coaching?
Well, a lot. Like, recently, I had two wonderful women, but I remember they had so much blockage. The same with all this hardship, and she wanted to run away from this job to go to another job. And we worked during all this coaching session and numerology to understand who she is, how she works herself first. And so we work a lot on all the blockage, all the limiting belief that she built, let's say, during all this year, and how we can transform that. And through the coaching, at the end, the outcome of the session is that she changed the job, working still in coaching, to not repeat the same patterns, to still work on herself, to balance her well-being, her success, her ambition, because it's important to understand that your ambition it's not, you have to choose between ambition or success and well-being. No, it can work together. It has to work together. This is the way, like, you are more balanced and your goals are more, how can I say, authentic.
I like what you said about make sure that you're not running away from something. That's something like we were speaking before about a previous podcast that I've done of Jim in New York. And he also says that make sure that you're not running away from the corporate life and jumping into entrepreneurship just because you want to leave there. What is it that you're trying to run away from? Because
it's you, actually,
Yeah. And so it's very good. But I can understand in a way, though, maybe like what this patient of yours had felt, because I feel like also society has so much pressure of like, in a way it's like, oh, you have to have a very good corporate life, you have to climb the ladder, you have to have a very good social life, you have to make sure you're exercising, travel, also have a very good mental health and all that. What do you think people can do to kind of maybe not feel that pressure, or also how can they maybe combine what you had mentioned about success, ambition, and well-being, because people think that maybe it's one or the other.
Be realistic first.
Yeah.
Be aware of what is the phase you're in your life. I mean, the phase of the life you're in, and again, know yourself. It's not that much. I mean, it's just awareness of who you are, what are your needs, what do you need, what is your possibilities. For example, my life changed. Now I am a mom, and it's not the same phase I was 2 years ago. Everything changed. My time changed. My priorities changed. So I wanted to maintain, for example, everything. Like you say, you want to maintain everything, and it was not possible. But for me, it's like, what are your non-negotiable? And I know that when you say that, I know so many people watch me on Instagram and say, yeah, but it's easy for you to cook homemade because you're at home. No, but I'm at home, but I'm working and I have a daughter and I don't have anyone who's helping me. But for me, it's a non-negotiable because my body, without my body, I'm not able to accomplish anything. So I have to nourish, nurture my body, and I have to, it's a non-negotiable. Like 15 minutes, it's not that much, 15 minutes a day to think about how can I give the best to my body to fuel, my body. For example, it's a non-negotiable. Move your body. It's not, you don't have to go to the gym every day, but just put yourself in movement. For example, go to your meeting walking, or go, I mean, if you take the subway, go to, how do you say, 2 stops before, and walk, move your body, do some adjustment in your life that are not too much, but you have to know first what you need and not repeat or compare to another person. For example, if you want to compare to me, you can't if you have a corporate life. Like I have nothing, like it's not a corporate life. I do my own, my own calendar every day, and I choose once, for example, every Monday, it's me time and preparing the week, etc. But on Monday, I don't take sessions, for example. And Monday, it's the day I prepare everything for the coaching. I take care of myself. I do things. And before, it wasn't like that. But now I have to work. I had to readjust according to the phase of life I'm in and the possibilities that I have. So for me, it's that, just check on you. What are your possibilities? What are your needs? What are your goals? What are your non-negotiable? But for that, you have to look within,
Yeah.
And don't compare
Yeah.
to other people.
Yeah, I think I really liked the thinking about like your non-negotiables. I think that's something that I maybe need to think about myself. And also like, also I liked also what you mentioned about exercise and also putting like some me time. But I feel like, again, maybe some people, and I think that it happens to a lot of people, because there's so much pressure and people are so busy and so productive. How do you make sure that, first of all, you're resting, and that you're like, okay, it's okay that I'm resting and I'm not doing the other things, because maybe you have some guilt of like, I'm not doing everything I should be doing.
I know. This question is gold. And again, reconnecting with myself and understanding how important it is for me to have this me time, because I'm a better person for me, for my daughter, for my husband, for my clients, at my work. I do best results. I mean, if I accompany you, I mean, I'm guiding you through coaching, but I feel so tired. I feel unmotivated. I don't have any me time. What kind of coach I am? I have to take care of me to take care of you, for example. Yeah. The same with companies, with everything. I used to work with company before maternity, and I used to tell them all the time, look at the people. The people makes the company, and it's more than just like it's about results, but the people makes the results. So you have to take care of the people and make the people feel special. And if company can, offer that to people through coaching, to I don't know what tool, but it's so important, like, to understand how you work, what it's important, what makes you a good leader. A good leader behind, I always say, behind the, under, let's say, the cap of a leader, it's you. Mm-hmm. You're you. So to be a good leader, you have to be, let's say, a balanced person, but you have to be conscious and aware that in some phase of your life, for example, well, I can't, and the balance is not very balanced, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, my personal life and exercise, etc., it's a bit down because I have a big project, I have, you know, something very important at work, and okay, it's okay. But you know that it's a phase. It's not like that all the time. And this is what, for me, it's very tricky. It's like we think like it's how to say, like it's the purpose, you know, to be successful, and okay, it's successful, sorry, at all costs.
Yeah.
And for me, if you're not okay, what for? I mean, why you want to be successful?
Yeah.
Just reply, answer the question, like why you're doing everything that you're doing. Because society wants that for you, but are you happy with that? Is it fulfilled you when you go to bed in at night? Do you feel fulfilled when you wake up in the morning? Do you feel excited to go to work? Like these are some little questions, like many people, I mean, that come to see me, they're like, I don't feel fulfilled. I have everything on paper, everything, but I don't feel, you know, this excitement for life.
Yeah.
I don't feel alive.
Yeah.
And this is when you have to say, okay, just hold on a moment. I'm looking within what I want, what I can readjust according to my possibilities, to my life.
Yeah.
And it's possible. Believe me, it's possible.
I mean, I think it's like what you said. It's quite a big question that one should be maybe looking at it themselves in the
Yeah,
mirror.
yeah.
And but I feel like again, and maybe this is an excuse, but because so many people are so busy and they see, at least I personally, I see that like, oh, I have to put like 2 hours on the side to do this, and then for what? But I think that you should, like, one should maybe tell oneself that you will be starting to feel better and live like a more fulfilled life if you ask those questions. And maybe you'll get answers to things that maybe, oh, maybe I'm doing this, but do I really want to do that? So it's maybe, yeah, like looking at themselves in the mirror and seeing.
It's like you want always more, you know, you want to achieve that goal, and then you achieved it, and then you want more, and then you want more, and then you want more, and you're never like happy, and you always, human being always wants more. But it's like the question I love to ask myself sometimes, it's like, what are you running after? What are you running after? You're running after what? Like, what do you want, and why are you doing what you're doing? Because sometimes it's like, even me, it's like, okay, now I have that, I want more. But now I check up, like, okay, this phase of my life, what do I want? What is my goal in this phase of life? And it's like, do I have everything I want? Am I happy? Am I waking up every morning excited, feeling energized, and every night like feeling fulfilled? Yes. Okay. So just be okay with that. It doesn't mean I'm not ambitious. No, I'm ambitious because I'm like, success is personal. It's not, how do you say, global, you know, or once fits.
One size fits all.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
one
not
size
like that.
fits all. I like this expression because it's not that. What success means to you. And the problem is that success for the majority of people is like the society, what the society will think of you or wants for you. But is it
What you want.
what you want?
Yeah.
What do you want? And do you ask yourself this question? What do you want?
Yeah.
It's a very simple question that no one asks himself, you
Yeah.
know? I mean,
It's a very good question, and I mean, I liked also what you said about sometimes when we have like a goal, we're like, okay, we reach that goal and then to the next one. Like for example, when I wanted a promotion, then I got the promotion, and then after that promotion, I was already thinking about the next promotion, and so it was all the time. But I like what you said. It's a very simple question, like, what do you want?
yeah.
And if you ask me right now, it's a tricky one because, but yeah, I feel like you have to put a little bit of work and maybe put a little bit time aside to think about all these questions. Do you have like, because as we said, life is very busy, but do you have like a one thing that you always try to do that you know that makes you feel good?
Cooking. Cooking. Because it's a way of creativity, a way of taking care of my body, a way of giving love to my family. Cooking, it's like every single day I have to cook. This is my non-negotiable. Like,
Yeah.
it's part of me. And movement. I have to move.
Yeah.
I have too much energy, as you can see, too much energy.
But I think those are two great things, because I think people sometimes underestimate how powerful both exercise and good nutrition can be, both mentally and physically. And I know that you're very good at that. And I say this very often, but my parents are actually very good at that also. Like, they have a lot of discipline, but I know that sometimes, some days, and not for everyone, it's not so easy. Do you have like something that either helps you to make sure that you're moving every day and that you're eating well, and because maybe some people, they think that those things are a little bit harder.
Now it's more natural, but when I became a mom, it was very hard because imagine I have just a few hours a day to work, for example, and then I want to spend time with my daughter. So I used to stop eating, stop moving, and I felt very bad. It was last year, during last year, and I really felt bad. And I remember when I started to see like the damage on me, I started to put some reminder on my phone, like little reminder with break time or me time. And it was like, no, you have to stop now. And you take 20 minutes, 20 minutes to eat, to prepare something to eat. And it was very quick food, for example, cooking something quick, but just stop being, at the computer and, okay, cook. And then every day, for example, I used to go and drop my daughter to the
School,
child care.
kindergarten.
Yeah, and instead of going home directly and start to work, it was no. I'm just go. I will go for a walk, and then little by little now I run almost every day. I cook, like I eat every day. It's my meal, but also I'm very organized. So I use this kind of control that we were talking about, like hardship. I transform this hardship, knowing myself, I transform this hardship into organization, planification, anticipation. But you can anticipate when you know that this really makes you happy and makes you not even happy, it makes you feel good. And it's like you need this to be at your best, to take care of people, to work or everything. Like you find a way and you adapt it. So I think according to your possibilities, when you know what are your non-negotiable, it's like you find a way. You find a way to integrate it. Let's say into your your daily life.
I mean, I think what you said is good, because it's like maybe starting with like small habits, and then maybe like try to be a little bit organized. Like maybe you don't have to be super, but like little things like meal prep or like
meal prep.
I did that a lot especially when I was in the US. So those little things are good, and I feel like that's also a way of to kind of take self-care. I think that's how we do a little bit of self-care. And something that I know that you talk also about, like self-care, is like how to say no. And I think that for some people it's very difficult to learn how to say no. Do you feel like, is there something that has worked for you where you kind of have learned to say no without guilt?
It was very hard. And I used to consider myself as a people pleaser, and it's very hard to learn to say no, but it's like freedom. It's freedom. And you, when you say no, people think like you say no and then you will be rejected. But no, because when you say no and you know why you say no, and you say no from a place of, well-being and balance, and you know why you're rejecting this proposition or this plan or this, people normally, what from my living, my experience, they accept that. They understand that, because it's not a no trying to find excuse or a no in a mean way. No, it's like from a place of connection with yourself, and people accept that, understand that. And I explain to everyone, like, I can't do this anymore. I have to restructure everything because it's not healthy for me. And now I changed since the beginning of this year everything, and I feel again aligned with this smell in this phase of life. Then it's going to change because we're evolving all the time. It's life, like we're changing all the time. So you have to check on yourself a lot.
It's a good point, because it's true that maybe what works for you now is not what will work in 3 months or in a year. Because also, as what you mentioned, it depends also the phase of life that you're in.
Exactly.
And because you mentioned that you maybe spoken to like some patients, and because you've been coaching and helping people for so many years, do you feel like coaching has changed you? Like, do you see life in a different way? Yeah.
I just get amazed with everything, every little thing. I'm very grateful. I used to be a bit in the face of life a bit ungrateful, because
Oh.
you always more, and it's like, no, I'm grateful for what I have. It doesn't mean that I don't want more, but I'm grateful for this
Mhm.
moment, for everything that I have, who I am now. And yeah, everything changes. Like the way I value those little moments with my family, those little moments, every client. It's not, no, I got this client. No, I want more, another one. No, it's like I enjoy and I really give the best of me to this client, to
Mhm.
this moment. Every little word that I receive, you value that. I used to be always the one who does more,
Yeah.
who wants more, who goes for more. And now it's like, yeah, I'm going for more, but from a place of, um, no, I don't know. I feel just grateful and happy with who I am now.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then I'm gonna let's say that my path is like smoother.
Mhm.
Everything is smoother. I stop fighting with myself and with everything all the time. It's like I'm in peace. Like
I think it's
I feel peace.
it must feel really nice to feel like that. And it reminded me of something that I don't know if I ever told you, but I actually say I have you as a contact saved as happy coach because I think that you always bring so much happiness, and it's really nice also. First of all, to be surrounded by people that give that so much good energy, and it must be also. I mean, I don't know if yeah, like it must be really nice to get that positive
Yeah.
feedback from people.
It's true, but I am like that.
Yeah.
It's like as I was saying. It's like remember that the cap you put, the cap is the raw. Okay, you put a cap or a hat,
Yeah.
whatever you want. You have every time you are under this cap. So if I put the cap of the coach, happy coach, but inside I feel
Mm.
completely like unmotivated and unfulfilled and everything, I'm not this good coach, this happy coach. I have to, how do you say, incarnate? I mean,
Yeah.
to live this,
Mhm.
this thing. So it's the same with any kind
Mhm.
of job that you have. If you want to be this super, I don't know, tell me a job, like you have to feel it also. For example, if you eat every day in a rush, ultra processed food, you don't even take time to eat. How do you feel? You feel rushed. You feel how do you say
Hungry
heavy.
yeah.
You feel, I mean, you're aligned. Everything that you put in your body also,
Mhm.
you will feel the same. If I eat natural food that energize me, I feel energized. I feel lighter. It's, I mean, you have to act the way you want to feel.
Mhm.
And if you don't take any time to yourself and you don't value your well-being, how will you feel?
Yeah.
Okay, you will succeed,
Yeah.
whatever, but for what?
Yeah, and then maybe you'll end up draining. But I like what you said about because it's a little bit like you are what you eat, as they
You
say.
are what it is. I love this.
Yeah.
It's true.
And before you had mentioned numerology, and I know that's something that you started recently. Can you tell us a little bit for people that are maybe not so familiar, what is neurology
It's crazy.
and how does it help people?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like I was telling this before I was talking. It's like now there is no coaching without numerology. It's like a map, like clearly a map of how you work, how you are, who you are, what you want, what are your blockage, what are your dreams. No, it's crazy. It changed my whole life because it's based on your date of birth and your complete name that was declared when you were born. And with that, you can't imagine how precise, how profound I can see through you. You can't lie to me and you can't lie to yourself
Okay.
because you know that we lie to ourselves all the time because I can see how you work, for example, in every field of your life. It's
Just
very
by a couple of numbers and names.
just the numbers because
Okay,
it's a
well.
lot of numbers.
Okay.
Then from these numbers, I mean, for the date of birth, so you
Yeah.
have the date of birth. So this is the basis, and then you have the names, and every letter represent one number. For example, A is one. So then you calculate everything, and it gives you numbers, a lot of numbers, and then I create. But it's like a map that I created and I projected to you
Mhm.
during the session.
So it's a nice addition to coaching, which must be
It's amazing.
nice. And so I know that you have started this recently, and like you're diving all deep
Yeah.
into it. Do you have any other exciting plans for the future of like what's next for you? As
I,
you said that there's so much change.
No, now it's I learn, Claudia, through numerology. I understand something. I'm very curious, and I always start new thing. I want something new, and I start something new. So now I start to go deeper. This is my challenge this year. Go deeper in what I do Because now, for example, I was like, I love nutrition, and everyone tells me, yeah, go with nutrition, add nutrition, and I was like, okay, I'm adding nutrition, and then no, Mel, just focus, and develop this, and then you go forward. So now my goal is to be constant and to go deeper. But then I'm thinking maybe in the future, I don't know if I add nutrition or
I really like the recipes and everything you had on Instagram.
I know.
So I do really like the nutrition piece. So I understand why people are telling you that. But it's true that it's very important to focus. Like I was speaking that with my family recently, because sometimes you have like so many balls in the air and it's very difficult. You have to like focus on one so that one doesn't fall. Like you do that one very good.
That's why I stopped the podcast, for example, because it was like, no, now I want to focus on coaching and numerology. I have a lot to do and it's super fun.
Well, that's
I'm okay
very
with
good, and I'm sure it will be great. And so it was very interesting hearing about your chapter and the wellness and all that, and hearing more about your story. Now, before finalizing, we have what my mom actually calls the ping pong questions, which is it's basically a rapid questions.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you 5 quick questions, and you answer the first thing that comes to mind. So the first question is, what's something that made you smile this week?
My daughter.
Okay. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
She has a way to see life so innocent, so pure. Like it reminds me that we need that in our life. So my daughter, for sure.
Yeah. Sometimes it's very cute, the innocence or the eyes of a little kid, how good and how positive they see the world, which is nice.
Just one thing, we learn a lot from them.
Yeah.
They learn with us, but we learn a lot from them, from their eyes.
What did you learn from your daughter?
Simple things, to try to enjoy again simple things, to value simple things, simple moment, This is for me the more valuable. You saw the video yesterday of us
when you were
tricking my husband. And it's like this all the time. And this is the kind of thing to add more fun, in your life, in your everyday life. Now everything is fun.
Yeah.
And, don't take it too seriously.
Yeah. It's important to have fun in life.
Yeah.
So, what's a new skill that you want to learn?
Well, maybe nutrition.
Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What's one word that describes you?
Energy ball. It's 2 words, but it's my
favorite. It works. Okay, nice.
Energy ball.
Yeah. Next question is, do you have like a specific morning or night routine?
Specific? No. I listen every day. I repeat something. Maybe it helps you. It's every single day before I, as soon as I wake up, instead of taking the phone, no, check up on me. How are you feeling today? What do you need? Can I do something for you? And then I start the day, but always. And my daughter knows that, and she respects that, and she does it with me if I need, but every day. Yeah.
That's good. And it's cute how your daughter kind of does it with you.
Yeah. But this is what you show her at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important because they replicate maybe what they see.
Yeah.
And the last question is, what's the best advice someone has ever given you?
Oh, it's not an advice, but it's from my dad. I remember when I wanted to go from Rome to Madrid, and everyone was telling me, don't do this, you have everything in Rome, what do you want to leave everything behind? I remember just before an interview, I was a bit stressed, and I was talking to him, and he sent me a Google picture, with a quote on it, and it was written, don't tell me sky's the limit when there are footprints on the moon, meaning just don't let anyone tell you what you have to do or where the limit is. If you feel it's for you, if you feel this is the right time, the right goal, the right everything for you, go for it. And I remember that it stuck with me. I didn't get the job, but I got the one after. I moved to Madrid, and when I changed to coaching, it stuck with me. When I became a mom, when I changed out now with numerology, every time I remember that. I put the goal, but always it has to be aligned with me.
Yeah.
So I love this. Yeah.
I really like that quote, and I heard something similar not too long ago, but I can't remember exactly what it was. But I think that it's really good because at the end, it's your path, it's your way, it's no one else, and there's no one better to judge than yourself. Like people can advise you, but it's very helpful or it's very good if you kind of think, what is it that I want? Because I'm the one that's going to do it in the end.
Exactly.
And so it's been super interesting here about your story and like learning about the wellness world and like how you see life. I think that there's a lot of good habits that I think that we've all learned today. Is there something else that you think that you want to share that we haven't talked about?
No, I think just you have the answer, but you have to ask yourself the questions, you know. And no one, like you just said it, no one can tell you, not even me, not even your coach. Don't go to a professional to tell you what you have to do, or just you know what you have to do. But focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Connect first within, and then create outside. This is what I want to say. Any path, like wellness, well-being, and success, they are compatible, but it's made your way.
Yeah.
Actually,
I really like that, and I think because you can have both, or like you can have both at the same time. So maybe what everybody can do after listening to this podcast is maybe put some time aside and ask yourself a couple of questions to live a better life, as you say, your way, which is good. Well, thank you so much, Melanie. It's been lovely having you. Thank you for coming.
So much.
And best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much, Claudia.
Thank you. Gracias.